I've talked a lot about the dangers of microplastics in your food, plastic containers, and personal care products. Many people don't think that it's serious. However, there's a brand new study that implicates microplastics in heart disease. It was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. They took 304 people to the study and followed them up for 34 months. People with detected microplastics and nanoplastics within the atheroma had a 353% higher risk of cardiovascular events than those without. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. The people who had more microplastics in their arteries had a 4 times higher risk of experiencing heart attacks, strokes, and even cardiovascular death. Now, this study is obviously quite alarming and serious, especially given the fact that you can find microplastics virtually everywhere, from water, from foods, from clothes, personal care products, and even the air you breathe. We don't know if there's a causal relationship between microplastics and heart disease, but it's certainly something to be careful with. As of now, you should try to minimize your exposure to microplastics and try to replace them with healthier alternatives. Microplastics are everywhere and they can have negative effects on your health. A recent 2024 study found that people with high amounts of microplastics in their arteries were at a 4-fold higher risk of heart disease events and death. Here's one way of removing microplastics from your water. A 2024 study showed that boiling water is able to remove at least 80% of nano and microplastics. Water is a huge source of microplastics, especially if you drink tap water or plastic bottled water. When you're at home, it's then a smart idea to use a water filter and boil the water before drinking. When you're not at home and you can't boil the water, then always opt for glass bottled water whenever possible. It's also found that algae like spirulina and chlorella can degrade microplastics through enzymatic reactions. Algae is also a good binder that can bind to heavy metals and other chemicals. So whenever you're traveling, you might want to have some chlorella tablets with you to bind to all the different kinds of toxins in the environment as well as the microplastics. It's not a 100% perfect method, but at least it's going to minimize some of the exposure.